CMUEagles.com with Central Methodist graduate assistant women's basketball coach Dustyn Yung as the Eagles travel to Missouri Valley on Thursday for a 5:30 p.m. Central Time tip-off. Coach, your team has now made it through the first half of league play. What did you learn about your team through the first half of the league season?
Through the first 9 games, we're currently 3-6. We lead every key stat category. So obviously our team is very skilled. But there's a couple things that you can't measure. You can't measure hard work. You can't measure toughness. And those are some categories that we're struggling at. So we've been really working on toughness, playing hard, and so we can have a better record this second time through conference.
This is the second matchup between the Eagles and Vikings this season. In the first matchup back in Puckett Fieldhouse, unfortunately Central Methodist came away with a 14-point loss. The team led by 5 in the first half and 8 early on before it became the Talia Earls show. She scored 10. She went on a 10-0 run by herself, and then she scored 19 straight points for her team in the first half. Do you expect them to possibly go to her as early and often in Thursday night's game as game 1?
Definitely. Talia Earls, is a very talented player. She can beat you from many different aspects in the game. Something that she's added this year is the 3-point shot. Last year when she came in as a junior, she wasn't really taking the outside shot. So our first time out, we watched her. She made a few in games before that, but now, she's shooting close to 40% from the 3-point line, leads the team, I believe, in makes and attempts from the 3-point line. So that's another aspect that we have to add now, guarding her. We actually got to guard her outside the 3-point line instead of worrying about her drive, worrying about her post-ups, and play her more as a guard.
In the last 2 games, Earls has failed to score in double figures after scoring 10 or more points in most of the Vikings games this season. What have you seen on film that could be a reason for that?
I think teams are taking the 3-point line away from her a little bit, getting her out of her comfort zone right now. Right now she's comfortable with taking the open 3, comfortable with taking you off the bounce. And so they've been taking the 3-point shot away from her a little bit and forcing her to maybe take a tough 2 that she hasn't been doing in the past.
Missouri Valley as a team forced 16 steals in the first game, and the Eagles had a bunch of turnovers. Your team in this matchup historically has not controlled the boards, but in the first game you out-rebounded them by a margin of 10. So you have to be pleased in that department, but probably thinking your team could get a little better in the turnovers department, especially on the steals. Yeah,
we could definitely. When we played Missouri Valley, that was a Thursday night. 2 nights before that was a Tuesday. We played C of O. Kyra went down injured, so we really had 24 to 36 hours, whatever, to prepare for that. And we couldn't really prepare a whole lot for it because we had to focus on the scout. We couldn't really focus on throwing a point guard in, and so we kind of threw Jesse in as a point guard, Mo in as a point guard, and we just weren't really comfortable. We were never comfortable at all. They took us out of our game offensively. We were in a rush, and so that's something we've also been focusing on. Jesse's got more comfortable playing a point guard. Mo's got comfortable, and we also added Nene in at semester to run the point. So I think turnover-wise, we're getting better offensively. We're getting more comfortable handling the ball.
Missouri Valley's won 4 of its last 5 games. What do you think has been the reasons for their success?
They play hard, and they play together. You follow them on Twitter, some of their players, they're talking about, playing as a team, playing for one another, and that's huge right now. Having chemistry is huge in a game of basketball. We can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't want to play together, you don't want to fight for each other, that's not going to carry over onto the court. They won 4 out of the last 5. They beat Baker, they beat Culver Stockton, so they're going to be ready to go. They're coming in hot, and we got to stop them. We got to be ready to go.
After struggling in Marshall, Missouri for the better part of a decade, Central Methodist has won the last 2 games at their place. What does your team need to do in order to make it 3 straight?
We just got to play hard. That's the biggest thing. Like I said, we have skill. We have kids that can knock down the open shot. We have kids that can take you off the bounce. We have kids that can finish around the basket. Biggest thing is we have to play hard, and we have to have toughness. Missouri Valley is a tough place to play at. It's a building that you're not really used to. It's very wide open. There's not a lot of, there's not really a background behind the baskets, so we got to be prepared for that. We talk to our girls about this is a very tough place to play, and we got to be ready to go.